Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your friend Han here, and it is absolutely good to see you here this afternoon. And today I'm very excited to have one of my coach way back, like a couple of years ago, and back with us to teach us about Facebook marketing. And his name is Steve, and he has actually well now the I am sphere and trying out different other niches and be very very successful at it. And one of the tool that he used to build out another successful business for him is Facebook. So he's going to be here share some ninja tactics that he uses to do the Facebook the right way to share with you. What does he do exactly to get the level of success he has with Facebook right now? So be very, very exciting about that. At the end of this interview, he's going to introduce a brand new tool that he just made that's going to change the way you marketing on Facebook. And this is actually, I think, in my professional opinion, is the right way to do the Facebook marketing. And if you want to have a very long-term Facebook career, you want to check out the software. And he's going to talk more about this, how this thing works, how this is going to really benefit you inside this interview as well. So be very, very excited about that as well. So before we get into all this excitement here, let's kind of learn how Steve got to start with internet marketing. And most importantly, what did he do exactly to achieve the level of success that he has today? So Steve, could you kind of take over the mic, share your unique internet marketing story with us today?
Yeah, sure, Han Fan. It's great to see you again, by the way. The story I'm about to share, I've barely told anybody. This is the actual full story of how I got started in internet marketing. You see, around 2005, 2006, I ran a company developing software for video editing and film companies. It ran with Adobe software. And I couldn't program, but I was good at bringing developers together. But I needed to learn how to market. So that's exactly what I did. I learned how to market. And I built on my list and my affiliate connections, and I've been doing that for the past few years. But then hit sort of late 2012, I was running a coaching group. I just done my last internet marketing launch. One of my students said, well, Steve, you've got all of this success behind you. Do you think if we took all of that away, do you think you'd actually be able to just start from scratch? If you had nothing, could you still get results? And I had a good think about it, and I figured the only way to prove that my systems worked was to go to niches completely outside of internet marketing, to do things completely differently, to go into hobby niches. And it seemed to me that Facebook was the best way to do that because there are all sorts of interests and hobbies and weird niches on there, and I thought that's probably the way to start. So I started building this system manually, which I call the social control system. And then using the skills I'd learned as a developer in the video and film industry, I actually brought together a crack team of programmers to make the tool that you just spoke about, which we'll show a little bit later on.
All right. So that's awesome. That's awesome. By the way, if Steve ever opened his product creation program again, you should join because I was one of his students. So and learn a lot, and he's going to teach you the right way to launching products. So. To knowing what you're knowing today, Steve, I think you have a very unique background because you kind of already success in your offline business. Then you kind of somehow evolve into the internet marketing sphere. I mean, you tried from launching products to focus on the IM industry. Now you're doing outside the IM industry. So you have very, very broad skills and experiences. So I want to ask you just to knowing what you know today, if you had to give top 3 advice to someone who just starting out with the internet marketing, perhaps hasn't found their focus yet, what would those be?
It would be not to take shortcuts and loopholes, because the fact is some loopholes are okay and you use them, but they always run out. And some loopholes can actually be bad. I mean, just think of what we've had with Google, with penalties, with dodgy backlinks, and then we've had the whole Facebook sort of scraper slap where people have been building up custom audiences using scraper tools, and all of these tools have been closed down. And there are lots of sort of fast ways to get started, but not all of them last, and some of them can be really negative. We've seen people lose their Facebook accounts, and when I started back sort of early sort of January 2013 putting together a manual version of the system, I decided that all the custom audience stuff that was going on was probably going to come to an end. So I didn't want to build any of my future business success on that. I wanted to do things in the right way, the most ethical way possible, and really sort of drill down into things that would last. So I'd recommend that anybody listening focus on getting engagement. And that doesn't just mean posting things randomly. but look when the people you want to connect with are most likely to be online. Because when you post something, it's only got a very small window of being shown. But if you can get just a few people to like it, their friends will see. And you do this a few times, and you start appearing on more people's news feeds, and it's really easy to build up. So look at the kind of content that people are responding to, but also look at the kind of times that they're actually online. So you'll find some people more at weekends, some people at their lunchtime during the workday, some people, just maybe during the day, at weekends. Other people, maybe they're just on Mondays or Fridays. But whatever niche it is you're interested in, and I know some of you might say niche out there, but being from the UK, I say niche. Basically, that gets a whole load of people like, Steve, what you're saying, so I just wanted to clear that up. But yeah, basically, just figuring out what kind of things do they like. Do they like video posts? Do they respond better to those little photos with funny captions? Is it text stuff? Figure out what they respond to and post it at times that will get them engaged. And as you start to see the people who really move and shake in the niche and have a bit of a bigger voice, then you can actually start directly communicating with them, tagging them and saying, hey Chris, what do you think of this, and stuff like that. And I think that's really the biggest piece of advice I could go kind of give your audiences. Focus on getting that genuine engagement, do it in an intelligent way, not just blasting with loads of posts, which takes loads of work to do if you're just doing posts all the time. And that's the way you can actually build up something genuine versus using these scraper tools and things like that.
And another thing is, it doesn't matter if you're on Facebook, if you're on Google, if you're on video. And the key point that you mentioned here is making engaged content. I think there's two key points people need to really taken away. First, the step one is you really figure out what makes a content engaged and what content is engaging your audience, because every niche has a different audience and they like different things, and there's no set stone answers. That's always a mystery for a lot of people. So I'm going to ask that question a little bit later on to kind of review how do you about searching that, how do you find that, how do you once you find it, how do you get engaged with the other audience? So guys, stay tuned, be very exciting about this. And he's right, and about loopholes, I mean, you got loophole with Google, you got loophole with Facebook. It's a fad, everybody kind of chasing after it, and but in the long-term strategy, it really doesn't stay that long. As short term, it's gonna give you a boost, but then you gotta kind of step back, like Steve says. Is this a really business, or is this just like a short-term game? So that's that. And beside the loopholes, what other tips can you give to my audience as well?
One of the best things you can do, whether you're wanting to do free Facebook marketing or you're wanting to do advertising, is kind of figure out who your audience are in terms of demographics. Where are they living? What kind of age are they? What gender are they? And any other common interests that they have. So they might all like, maybe everybody's into baking, but they're also into cupcake making. And if you can find out some of those other interests, you've got another place to actually target them that maybe your competitors aren't actually going for. And that's a quick strategy. Now, to figure all this out manually can be a little bit difficult, but if you create a YouTube reply video to a popular YouTube video, then you can get that demographic data because it'll show it on your reply video. So look for a popular video in the niche that you're interested in, create a quick reply video, you'll get those demographics that you can then use within Facebook to really start targeting without custom audiences and things like that. So it cuts out the need for scrapers, but you'll figure out the ages, you'll figure out the cities they live in, and that instantly is going to improve your engagement.
That's a great strategy. He just gave you something awesome here. So okay, let's talk about the Facebook. That's what I'm here today for. And I know you have, like I said, you have this broad experience with internet marketing and offline as well. Why did you think that people who are not on Facebook yet, they're missing a huge opportunity? Why do you think Facebook, like everybody's on there, either to make money or social engagement? Why do you think this whole buzz about Facebook is kind of blowing up right now, and why people are not on the Facebook need to be get on the Facebook and pay attention to the Facebook marketing?
Well, I think really Facebook's just another channel, but it's the really hot one right now. It's another way to connect with people. Now, go back maybe to sort of 2007, 8, 9. forums were really, really popular. I mean, that's how I started marketing. I found the Warrior Forum. And, I used to spend almost every day on there learning marketing techniques for my video software business. And then later on, I started selling products on there and also building up my offline business. And I'm sure that a lot of people who aren't on Facebook, they're still using forums. Maybe they're using chat rooms, maybe they're using Skype. But Facebook right now is so easy because they've made it really addictive. So you just go on your phone, you get updates appearing on your cell phone all the time, you get them on your computer, you can get email notifications. It's really hard to avoid Facebook. They want you to be connected in because it's, that's their whole business model. But because of that, because they've got this, insane business model of constantly drawing you in and getting you to create content, most of the people you already know will be on there. And I promise you, whatever you're interested in, there'll already be fan pages for it out there and groups. So a lot of the people you're looking to connect with are already there. So there's really no reason not to move over. There's nothing scary. It's up to you how you behave on there. But it's a great interactive channel. It's probably sort of the best improvement sort of since forums for connecting with the right people who can make a difference to your business, both business partners and also, potential customers. Hey, Han, I can't hear you quite right now. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, so this is like the TV commercial. Can you hear me now? Anyway, so let's say I found that to be true as well because when I first started internet marketing, that's kind of where I met you is to form, right? And back the days we always make connection to Skypes, and now everything is transformed to Facebook, like Facebook group, Facebook chat, and just see a huge trend there. As a smart internet marketer, you need to follow the trend. You don't not need to be against the trend or follow behind the trend, because this industry is changing at lightning speed. As we speaking, something is changing out there, right? So as a smart marketer, you need to watch out for that. But talking about from marketer perspective to about Facebook, like talk about the marketing system that Facebook have for you, how easy the demographic can really target audience if you really want to.
Well, earlier you mentioned things like ClickBank products and stuff like that, and the fact is, if you were to talk to most people who aren't in marketing or online particularly regularly, they probably have Facebook, but they're not aware of things like ClickBank, which means that really there's a lot less competition on there, even though people are flooding towards it. Most of the people that they won't have heard of those ClickBank products. And if they go on Facebook, and they're introduced there because they've liked a page which matches their interests, suddenly it's much easier to sell. And it's really easy with getting demographic data to say, hey, I just want to target this time zone, so I know I'm going to be posting at 11 a.m. EST. Because let's say most of the people that you're wanting to post to and get connected with, they're not awake when you're normally posting. You're wasting your efforts. So by figuring that out, that's really, really going to help you. By figuring out things like what else they're interested in, you can bring in other connections, so whatever you're doing doesn't become boring. You can talk about related subjects. So look at somebody like Tim Ferriss, okay? Big lifestyle development guru and everything. He has a special term, but I'm not sure what it is. Maybe lifestyle architect. But he doesn't just focus on business stuff. He talks about getting in shape. He talks about dieting, about self-improvement. And if you can hit the right sort of related topics that the majority of your target audience are interested in, along with those cool demographics, of course, they're going to really get to know, like, and trust you way faster than somebody who's just blasting them with, random messages or offers 24/7.
That's awesome stuff. I think Facebook, the marketing, the back end of the marketing of Facebook is really cool because it doesn't, for the other medium buy place, you have the minimum of $500 to $1,000 just to get the ads display just for the very first time. But Facebook, you don't have to do that. Anybody can, starting out with the marketing, can start. You can start with $5 per day, or one or $10 a day or $15. You can scale from there. Once they see the winning campaign, you can go from there. So that's another thing, and I like the fact that you can really target at any demographic you want to. So Steve, why don't you kind of take some time, share some of your Facebook tactic, perhaps once you teach it, my audience can listen to it and implement right away to see some awesome results. And let's talk about some of the successful tactic you have used in Facebook, and it's actually going. This is what Facebook wants you to do, and you get great results from it.
Well, one of the first things that I've been doing is, like I say, figuring out this demographic information. And I went to a company called Fancy Hands who provide virtual assistants. And I got them to take all sorts of data and build spreadsheets. And I had 5 of them working for a month to build up the information required for one launch. But you can start off an awful lot easier. So to give you a quick example of a basic thing I did, last week I decided I wanted to connect with famous internet marketer John Reese. Now, we weren't friends on Facebook. I wasn't really aware of anybody we had in common. And I talked to John maybe sort of 2006, 2007 when I was getting started. He helped me out. So I decided to write a gratitude post talking about some of the differences that he'd made to me in terms of his systems that had been forgotten about, and how I'd incorporated them into social control without paying out a penny, because I targeted the post at the right time and I knew the people he was connected with. I actually got noticed by John. He added me as a friend. He wrote awesome under the post, and then he shared it with, he's got a massive sort of audience. So instantly that gained me so much more exposure, and it was just about being intelligent, knowing the kind of times, that somebody on the West Coast would be around, knowing the sort of topics and people that they would see in their feed, and doing it in a really sort of intelligent way. So that's a quick way of sort of the simple way of basically doing what I've been working on. But for sort of the really hardcore stuff, you need lots of data, figure out lots of things. And so that's why I was getting all of these assistants, virtual assistants, all of this work, and kind of boil it down. And that was the reason that I actually decided to get a piece of software made that could just, do the whole Facebook marketing thing, from finding the right niche right to actually selling them an offer. Because I don't know about you, Han, but when I've entered sort of other sort of niches outside of IM, sometimes they're just a dud. And so I wanted a system that's just going to say, hey, this one's got fake likes, paid engagement, no point trying to go there. So it'll easily rule those ones out for you.
That's awesome, man. That sounds a lot of work. But if you listen to this, he's a better solution for do manually, because that you must put a lot of effort into it to kind of really get those research data. I think you're a data guy, because ever since I meet you, you always have this secret data. Even launching product, you got that. Hey, what product is the hottest? What should you create? You got that secret data sets there, and then now you kind of take that skill to the Facebook, which is going to really benefit a lot of people as well. And especially have this tool here we're going to introduce, and now they have their very own research too as well. And marketing is a lot of times all about data, isn't it? It's about, hey, what do you know? Just a little bit of things that you know about your audience is going to really make that huge difference, isn't it?
Well, I think, having data on the one hand...
I lost your audio again. Let me try one more time.
I think on the one hand, if you can hear me, Han-Fan?
Oh, yeah.
Am I coming through okay?
Yeah,
on the
I can
one
hear
hand, data is really important. But if you can balance that with being genuinely engaged and interested with people, as I talked about in that special Facebook way, then you've got the perfect balance. Because you know exactly what to do with your efforts.
1 second. I think I lost you again. Are you back?
Yeah, I can hear you okay.
Okay, all right. So, okay. You say something about the data is important, but you need something else to combine.
Yeah, you've got to have the data on the one hand, so you're not just working 24/7 to figure out the right niche and then failing and then find the right content, but it doesn't work, and you're posting all the time. You're struggling to get things working. That kind of method, maybe you'll 1 out of 10 times you'll get lucky. If you have the right data, you can reduce that. But then by engaging with people properly in the way that Facebook wants you to, and I've just shown you sort of some shortcuts to doing that, then you really get great results and people really start to like you. That's in the complete opposite to this big Facebook scraper slap where all these tools have gone, people have lost their accounts, people are worried about if they've done the scraping, is that going to affect them? What's the future of custom audiences? Instead of worrying about all of that, why not sort of do things in the free way that I've spoken about, and 2, use that demographic data to do advertising where you don't actually need a custom audience because you can narrow things down that much with the data that you've actually discovered. And because you're engaging with people, Facebook loves what you're doing.
Okay, great, great. So let's talk about. You mentioned this problem over and over again. Is the kind of it's quote unquote Facebook slap here. So talk about that a little bit. What's happening right now for those who doesn't even know the issue exists yet? It's been going around for about almost like a month or two now that I've seen people post on Facebook mention, what I'm gonna do now, what I'm gonna do now, especially those T-shirt people. So let's talk about that a little bit. Just kind of get people's attention here right now.
Well, I kind of started advertising on Facebook when I was doing WSOs, and I would advertise them to people that I was connected to, and I got good sales. Mm-hmm. But then as people figured out Facebook advertising a little more, they realized you really wanted to get drilled down to lower down your costs, and Facebook introduced this idea of custom audiences, where you could upload maybe the phone numbers of past customers or their email addresses, but then they expanded it to include what's known as the Facebook ID. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of something that's hidden on the page a little bit. It's not always too obvious. Sometimes it's in the sort of the address of the person's page. If it's not showing like their name, like for me, Steve Benn, it might have a list of numbers. Mm-hmm. But people figured out ways to get access to this and actually build up a list that they could upload to Facebook and directly advertise to. Now, I think Facebook's plan was maybe you'd build some sort of like little cool app or game, and because you wouldn't be asking for somebody's email address, you need a way to be able to target those people. So it said, hey, you can advertise cheaper and just to these people who you've got the IDs for. But of course, marketers always find a loophole, and because it was actually available on the actual web page of every profile, people began to build these scraping tools that gathered massive amounts of data. So then what happens is advertising starts to explode, and people figure out that you can make money basically selling T-shirts and hoodies and things like that on demand. So you don't pay anything out for them making. They only start making them once basically enough orders have come through. So that means money down. So you advertise, maybe you spend like $5, $10, maybe max $50 on a campaign, and it doesn't work out. You've not lost any other money. But keep doing it, and eventually you'd start getting sales coming in. You're not paying out anything in front, and then you get these big checks coming in. And this is why you've seen people doing like hundreds of thousands of dollars, basically, advertising things like T-shirts and other stuff. Of course, what happened is Facebook started to notice, and creepy advertising kind of came in where people were saying, hey, you live in this town, or hey, you're a woman age this, or hey, Steve, so maybe just using somebody's first name, which Facebook has always said, don't get too personal in the advertising, okay? You can use that information to target people, but don't explicitly tell them, because that's kind of scary for somebody.
Yeah.
So, that was kind of the beginning of sort of Facebook getting a little bit worried. They want to protect their users. Obviously, they still want the cash off us, but the creepy advertising and the massive custom audiences that people are building, we're talking like thousands and thousands and thousands of people. It was just getting really sort of worrying for them because, building those custom audiences that you had no connection to at all. It's not like they were friends of friends or anything. These were people who didn't even know you. So to get an advert from you saying, hey, your name's Chris and you support this sports team, freaked people out. They complained. So Facebook had to take action. And so all of these tools was just like a couple of weeks ago, they just disappeared. Some of the big people who are doing big money using these custom audience strategies, they just disappeared from Facebook. And everybody's kind of left thinking, what's happening with custom audiences? This great loophole, that a lot of people have been using, it's probably going to disappear or be severely restricted, or if people do misuse it, I guess we're going to start seeing more penalties as time goes on. And as usual, Han, I can't quite hear you.
All right, let me switch back. I think Hangout's been having a crazy time with me today. So apologize for that. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So fortunately, we have this temporary solution here every time it happens. And so from a user of Facebook, I think Facebook itself is always fighting that privacy issues. It's on the news. You can do your own research. Is they want to kind of watch their own butt as well, right? Because because they don't want a lot of people leave Facebook because the Facebook users think, hey, you're inviting my privacy. How the heck you got my ID? I don't even know you from from one person to another, and start seeing those advertising target at them from the people that they don't even know about. They're gonna complain, and Facebook want to keep their audience. They don't want them to leave Facebook to go to some other platforms. So they had to do whatever to protect their interests as well. I think that's another reason they're probably gonna kind of be very straight on a custom audience. And I don't think if you are smart market, I don't think the custom audience was built for the way we were using right now for the most marketer out there. So it was for some other reason, like you kind of mentioned here. So that's the problem. So what is the solution, Steve? I think you have this the perfect tool here. Pretty much does the same thing but different, but the right way to do it. That's the key word here. The right way to do it. Can you kind of take a couple minutes, not only talk about but also show us what this does?
Yeah, sure. If it's okay with you, I'll just flip over to my screen.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I'll just start sharing my desktop, and I'm just going to shrink the window down just so everybody can see. So hopefully you guys can see this. Basically, Social Control is composed of two apps. One is a desktop app that runs on Mac and PC, and the other is a cloud app that basically runs on the internet. So you can always access your projects, and if you've got more than one license for the desktop app, you can actually coordinate all of the work that's actually going on with your team. So just to quickly kind of show you, I did a search on you, HanFan. Hope that's not too creepy there. But basically,
he's spying on me.
Basically, I wanted to see, what's going on. So the first thing the app actually shows you is.
Hey, Steve, is there any way you can make that window a little bit bigger? I want to take full advantage of all the screen real estate we have.
I'm afraid there isn't actually an easy way. But what I can do is I can actually change the the screen sharing options. So I'll just do that right now. Looks like it's going to be a little too difficult to actually do. I've got to go into preferences and alter everything. So I don't know if you can see anything. I can't quite hear you right now, HanFan.
We'll fix this. All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, yeah, this is perfect. What you have here is perfect because I think you just shared that single application, not full screen. Yeah. We can see everything. So.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
So yeah, I did a search on you. You can do searches on groups, pages, people. You can do public searches or people that you're actually connected to, or pages or groups you're connected to. So first thing that I noticed is you get like an average of 3 likes per post, but only 1 reply. And I can easily see the reason for that. You like to post generally, on average, on a Thursday. People who like your stuff generally click like on a Wednesday, and people who like to comment, they're doing it on a Friday. So if you were to focus a little more of your efforts on Fridays, you'd actually get more comments. And because when people comment, it's more likely to be shown in their friends' news feeds, instantly going to get you more responses. Now, another thing you could do is you could do a search on maybe somebody else who's doing what you like, and you could see what's their mix of posts. So you've got like 75, 53% you're doing text, and then 8% video, 36% images. Let's say you find somebody else you want to copy, see what their mix is of posts, see what their engagement's like, and then maybe alter your mix. So if you're posting at the right time for your audience, and you're doing the kind of mix that's working for your competitors in terms of post types, you're going to be sorted. Next thing we've got is top content. Okay, so top content basically shows all of the stuff that you've posted, shows how many responses it's had. You can link directly to it. If you also click here, that bookmarks it to the cloud server. So if you've got multiple people working, that's all bookmarked to your latest project. I'll just bookmark you as well. So we just added you there into this particular project. Next, top responders. So we can see the people who are most likely to engage with you. So basically, by being able to break that down, you can easily say, hey, these are the people who I know will respond. So if I want to get a post out there or something, tag these people in it, or say, hey, you know, Abby, what do you think of this? Sam, what do you think of this? Cyril, what do you think of this? Any of these people you're interested in, you can just bookmark. So we'll go for Marge there and just bookmark her there to this project. You can do searches on them as well. Then if you scroll down, you can see the people who maybe you could improve the engagement with. So as you start to get noticed a little bit more, you can start to drag a few of these people in, either posting at the right time for them, because you can do a search and figure out when's best to engage with them, or you know, you can actually directly tag them in. And this is exactly what I used to talk with John Reese. Next, we've got the demographics section. So you can see the other groups where your audience likes to hang out. Munchide, by far, absolutely massive. So what we do is we can just bookmark that to the latest project. JV Zoo. Now, in terms of pages, this is a little more interesting. Lead pages is actually the top sort of common page here, and marketing with Dom. So if you wanted to really connect with people, you could do a tutorial on lead pages, or maybe you could do a promo on lead pages, because that's really where you're sort of getting the engagement. And then we've also got gender and location, so you can actually figure out where most of your audience is, you know, whether they're majority male or female. I think yours is 78% male there. And then finally, we've got the intent section, which actually says, basically this edge popularity actually says, out of your total posts, which ones does Facebook predict is going to go viral? Sadly, you've not got any there, but you've still got some viral potential. You've got 5 posts shared there, and you can export basically any commercial links from that page, post, profile, group, whatever. So you can figure out exactly what's going on there. You can do the same for groups, pages. With pages, you can actually sort by engagement or number of members. So it's really easy to figure out if somebody's bought a load of paid likes, and they've got loads of people on there, but nobody talking about it. So don't waste your advertising dollars. Don't waste your efforts posting with those. They're not going to work. Let's say you've done sort of an in-depth search last month on Brad Spencer. You can just do a quick search and just update the system with his latest content, his latest posts, and just kind of figure that out. Everything that you actually look at goes into the social data section, so you can always go back quickly. You don't have to waste time searching anymore. And anything you think, you know, I should have put that in, you just bookmark it, and it goes into the project section, which syncs then with the cloud app, which I just showed you at the start before we narrowed the screen down. So, like I say, you can have multiple people working on this. You could give, you know, some temporary access to a copy, and you could get them working on, you know, what kind of content's going to be good for here. Well, so you work on the right people to connect with. So yeah, that's pretty much an overview of social control and the desktop app and the cloud app. And I can't actually hear you right now, Han. I'll just flip back out, so I'll just stop the screen sharing.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Stop being able to hear you again. I still can't hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I don't know what's going on here. So I was asking, is there any way to using a software find out what's the most engaging content?
Yeah, actually, that literally is straight into the content section that I just.
I can't hear you now. What the heck? One more time. All right, Steve, are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay? I can't hear you again. This is crazy. Hangouts are so...
All right, we're going to...
Yeah, I can hear you now.
So I was kind of... Can you hear me now? You can hear me now,
yeah.
Right? Okay. All right. So I was asking, is a part of your software can actually find that engaged content, and then your audio getting cut off on there? So.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly what I showed you when we were actually on the app. The second tab along, content, that was literally all of your top content that you've posted. If you then look at some of the people you've connected with, you can see their top content. And
got it.
Yeah, so it's very, very sort of easy to figure out. So because you can actually literally look at this is what this person's engaging with most, or this is what this person's posting most, it just depends on the context. Because if you're searching for you, and then you've got like a little list of people who are engaging with your stuff. Then you want to go and see, what's working for them. Because some people create content as well. Some people just respond to content. So obviously you're a content creator.
Okay, so you got this desktop software, then so what's the difference between them?
The cloud app basically is for bringing everything together. So if you've got multiple people working, so let's say you've got, let's say, 3 licensed copies, then you can all work on one project and each just take a different angle of it and feed it all together. But on the other hand, let's say you're away from your computer. Let's say that you've gone traveling. You can still log in and get all of your existing data on your project, and you can keep adding to it. So that's really, really sort of cool. You can also message anybody that you're working with and say, hey, can you work on this? Can you focus on this? So you can just direct message them. And we're working on a feature where that'll actually literally the message will just appear not just in the cloud app but also the desktop app as well. But for right now, it just appears in the cloud app. We've also got some sort of links for commercial options, so extra ways that you can actually make money. So we've basically got like a crowdsourced option, which for each niche will start to sort of in the background chug away on the cloud server and figure out exactly the right ways for you to monetize. So hopefully that's giving you a little bit of background on the cloud server.
Okay, cool, awesome. So let's kind of jump into the question about the offer itself, and let's talk about the name of the product, time to launch, and who's going to be really benefit for getting this.
Okay, the name of the product is Social Control System. The reason it's called a system is because it's comprised of training, a desktop app, and a cloud app. We're launching 12th of July, 11 a.m. EST, or EDT, should I say, right now. And we've got 3 different license options, okay, because I know different sort of things will suit different people. So we've got a single cloud and desktop license for people who, they're just wanting to start out with Facebook, they're just starting to do campaigns. They can start out with that. Then we've got, I think, my personal favorite, which is the marketer's license, which includes some cool extra YouTube functionality for getting demographics there. We spoke a little bit more about that earlier, how you can do that manually. We've got an automated option there. And also you get a little bit more advanced training. You get 5 licenses, and like I say, everything links together. And then at the top end, for people who maybe are running sort of quite big sort of offline marketing agencies, we've got the agency license, which comes with 12 licenses. So we've got a spread of prices. Now, in terms of when we actually go sort of past the launch, because it's only for 7 days, okay? The launch is just 7 days, starting on the 12th. The reason for that is that I actually, when I was doing sort of all my offline marketing stuff, I connect with a lot of PR and marketing agencies, and I know that they're really keen to have this. In fact, I had a meeting actually Saturday night about this. And so basically we're looking to charge about $1,000 to $2,000 a year for the marketing agencies. But I want to get back to the community. I want to get some launch buzz going. So we're going to have like about 80% off those prices. And the lowest license going to be starting at $100, but you've got to be in there on day one, because we've got a bit of a dime sale in that each day the price is going to go up until we hit the sort of the end of the launch cycle. So you could end up paying $50 to $100 more if you leave it too late. And leave it way too late, the launch is over, and like I say, it's going to be $1,000. And if you're a big agency, we're talking probably about $2,000. So there are really massive sort of savings to be had. You get access to the desktop app, however many licenses you want, the cloud server, the training, case studies of the launches I've been doing. So right from a small Facebook group to the stuff with John Reese to the weird sort of music hobby niche that I did just under 30,000 in, and the bigger sort of amateur broadcast one, which we did over 300,000 on with no affiliates.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So let's talk about what exactly are they getting in the front-end offer.
In the front-end offer, you're getting a couple of things. You're getting the cloud app, which, like I said, allows you to sync everything together and do some extra cool stuff and manage your projects wherever you are. You're also getting the desktop app, runs on Mac and PC, and like I say, however many licenses you should actually choose. Then we've got a big bonus pack made up of training, also how to basically use this with local businesses, so you can sell your services, how to price it, how to approach them, things like that. And like I said, also drilling down into the case studies and a complete manual that goes through on how to use the software, and you get 1 year of software updates with that included as well. So there are no worries if things sort of change there or we add new features. You're sorted.
Okay. All right. So what is the so you say this is actually on time sale? Is it like per sale? Is it like a time based?
We're doing it actually. The price goes up sort of each day. So,
Okay.
like I say, the earlier people take action, the more they can save. If you manage though to go outside of the launch window, then the price is going up massively. Okay, it's got an 80% discount. Even on the absolute highest prices on closing day, you're still saving 80%. And you know, this is a really serious in-depth app, so it's not some sort of quick sort of product that you'll use once. This is something that will change your marketing life.
And
No exaggeration there.
how long took you to build it? Because it's something that important to know, that people know this is not overnight habit. This is something you put a lot of work into it.
Basically, we had two programmers working now probably since, I'd say we started July, but got really sort of serious September last year. So, you know, we're not too far off, basically a year. We're sort of at about 11 months now. And it's taken some serious work to develop the cloud technology, the desktop technology, and as well to do everything so that we weren't breaking Facebook terms and conditions. So that we were being really careful and respectful about what we did, but still making the app really powerful. So we're not relying on any loopholes, things that could be taken away. So if you know somebody's just starting out with Facebook, they'll find lots of good stuff. But if you're already using Facebook for both free and sort of paid ad campaigns, you'll find an amazing amount of detail. It's really sort of deceptive. The more you dig down to the app, the more that's actually there. So it's easy to start off with, but got amazing sort of depth to it as well.
Okay, great. All right. So what is the OTO?
The OTO basically is a mastermind. You can basically choose to either go yearly on the mastermind, massive discount there, or you can go monthly, and that's going to include loads of done-for-you campaigns for getting engagement and for ads. It's also got upcoming case studies of my next big non-IM launch next month, so you get to go through that live with me. Lots of downloadable resources as well, monthly webinars and Skype sessions. So lots of great stuff in there. And then also we've got another offer on top of that, which basically I had my arm twisted into including. This is not my sort of program or anything, but it's an app called Quillio, which basically allows you to manage your page. Okay, so you create pages, you can manage them in Quillio, you can get really detailed stats, so you can drill down even more into your own stuff, and you can do cool stuff with actually, you know, setting up posts and things like that. So that seemed like a good way to actually round things out. So like I say, we've got the optional extras of the mastermind, where you get to follow on live, get access to all the done-for-you stuff, and then Quillio, which is great for managing the projects that you actually set up in terms of managing your fan page, making things like that really easy.
So you're getting both the mastermind and Quillio, or Quillio's a separate different?
Quillio is actually a separate thing, just literally because it's not actually my my product. It was literally, it was just so good. I got a special deal on it just to kind of stick it in there because I just thought it was a good way to round things out. But yeah, the mastermind, completely all of my stuff in there. Like I say, we'll be doing a really exciting live case study on my next big non-IM launch, which starts next month. So, you know, fingers crossed for that.
Okay, so let's talk about what's the starting out price for the mastermind very quick.
The mastermind is $37 a month or $99 per year. So you can just pay a one-off fee of $97, I think it is. Or if you want to go monthly, just try it out, $37 a month. It's really great value for all the done-for-you content, webinars, Skype sessions, and case studies.
And what is the starting out price for Quillio?
Quillio is $99 to start with, and there's a sort of a multi-user full license for $147.
Okay, okay. So there's two different licenses. Okay, cool. All right, so that's about all the questions I need to ask you here, Steve. But before we go here, I got very important questions. You know, as people listen to this interview, they know your, you know your stuff when it comes to Facebook marketing, especially. I think you're the only marketer actually quitting to doing the do the right way that fits a Facebook guideline, and they see how powerful this is. Once you have the data, you can really extremely target the audience, which is going to keep the cost down. So they want to have this powerful tool and in their hand, and to help them with their Facebook marketing, or perhaps help with their offline clients as well. So they want to buy these, but everyone has the little voice on the back of their head say, hey, don't get this, don't take any action. So my question to you, Steve, is what makes this software so unique they should absolutely grab at launching time?
Well, I think what makes it absolutely so unique is it's a complete end-to-end solution for Facebook marketing. From choosing the right niche, not wasting your time, to knowing the right time to post. So again, you don't waste your time. Finding great content, really quickly. It really speeds things up and even shows you ways to monetize. So it's just a complete solution for doing it ethically in the right way. So you're not relying on any loopholes. You keep working on it, you keep building up momentum, and you get great results. And you don't waste your time on, things that maybe without the tool you just wouldn't know. You might start out and it just doesn't pan out. You don't get the leads, you don't get the engagement, you don't get the content. So it's a great way to just kind of skip ahead, do things ethically, and that's actually investing in your own business rather than just focusing on loopholes that may be gone tomorrow or next week, or even worse, could result in you getting some sort of penalty, as we've seen with things like Google backlinks and this whole sort of Facebook scraper slap.
Okay. All right, sounds great. And I think if you're really serious Facebook marketers, you know how important data is, so you can really drill down to who you really want to talk to. There's no sense just selling an apple to someone who won ice cream. This is just totally disconnected. You're wasting your time and money. So with Steve's tool, we can kind of almost do the perfect match here, and that's great. So so before we go here, Steve, do you have any final words you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, actually, I've got a couple of extra bonuses that I'd like to just kind of throw in there, because as I said, before I decided to go outside of internet marketing, I was running a coaching group, okay? And it's for my traffic converter course that basically shows you how to turn traffic sort of into opt-ins, into cash. And it's a great complement for social control, because if you decide to take people outside of the Facebook environment, and I'm showing you already how to do that with the list building and lead targeting, well, this shows you how to actually convert that traffic into whatever you want. On top of that, I'm also giving away the latest version, 2014 version of my Instant Cash Machine, which shows you basically how, without a product, you can make cash within 2 hours, just selling some really deceptively simple stuff that'll suit whatever you're doing. And also, along with that, I'm throwing in my Instant Copy course, which thinks about the best-selling copywriting course on the Warrior Forum. And it'll just teach you some really simple ways just to write things so they're a little more engaging. You can just go through my done for you stuff and go, hey, this suits this, what I need to post here, and put that up, and you're going to get a lot better engagement because it's been battle tested. So yeah, I just wanted to include those extras for people.
Great. So for those who are still watching us, make sure you stay tuned and watch a very cool demo video on this, because our time in the interview is limited, but the demo video is going to really bring out the product, and especially you're going to know how this is going to really save you tons of time and save you tons of money in the long run, and really build up your successful Facebook marketing business here. So on that note, Steve, thank you so much for this. Oh, by the way, if you're watching this, go ahead, click the link around this window here, left, right, up, and down, and go ahead, opt into his early bird list, and be the first one getting notified when this thing launches as well. So, and on that note, Steve, thank you so much for spending your time to share this awesome tool and teach us about the right way to do Facebook marketing. And I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Han Fan. It's been great to talk to you.
All right, cheers.